Just 4 years ago, Mazda and Toyota joined forces, not for the first time, but for the first time in America, they designed a plant together. And the Corolla Cross is built there for the North American market. And the only Mazda built in the United States, the CX-50, is also built there with a max capacity of 150,000 units. Who would have thought how important this plant would be 4 years ago? No one foresaw the tariff situation that we are currently going through right now. All right, so Mazda, thank God they have this. Otherwise, it'd be completely dependent on imports. And we don't know how big of an impact this will have now and into the future, but it's safe to say that Mazda absolutely needs this plant where they make this CX-50. It's about the same size as a CX-5, just a different style, more of a sleek off-roady wagony sort of thing compared to the CX-5 that's built in Japan. What we have right now is pricing and packaging and maybe some updates for the 2026 model year. And I'm going to go over all that detail for you guys today. If you guys are a big fan of Mazda, make sure to smash the like button. And later today, more than likely, I have the video mostly done, but soon I'll have my CX-90 review up where I compare it against a traditional luxury three-row crossover in the Infiniti QX60. But yeah, stay tuned for that review. But let's get into this. Outdoor-focused Meridian Edition, now available on 2.5S powertrain. Previously, it was only available on the turbos. Well, if we see what Mazda is doing with the turbos, they might be phasing it out until they have that new Skyactiv-Z. I think that's what it's called, the new Skyactiv-Z engine technology. Because if you look at the new CX-5 coming out, and I've roasted Mazda for the interior design on that, but the new CX-5 dropped the 2.5 turbo and it only has the 2.5 naturally aspirated engine option, around 180 horsepower or so, until the hybrid comes out. I'm really excited for that hybrid because the CX-90 and its hybrid functionality, once you run out of all the electric juice, it's a really, really good hybrid, really smooth, really efficient, and like fun to drive too. Much more fun to drive than Toyota hybrids, which the CX-50 does have a Toyota hybrid system. Anyways, we have a new black Mazda emblem on badges on certain models. Is that going to move the needle for some? Maybe not. All new white interior option allows customers to further tailor their CX-50 to their interest. Well, here's the thing. Mazda, as I zoom out, right, there are no pictures here. We don't have any pictures of what this looks like, this white interior option. And then the 26 CX-50 has a starting MSRP of $29,990. All right, let's look back to last year. Guys, this is going to surprise you. All right, the CX-50 hybrid starts at $34,750. All right, so we do have some price hikes and we also have some price drops. Let me explain. So up on the screen, I have for you guys prices this year versus last year. Now look what they've done here. Just noticed this. Windshield Pearl went up $100. Polymetal Gray went up $145. Oh man, Zircon Sand up $145. Soul Red, the best color in Mazda's lineup, has stayed the same. Okay, so I made a spreadsheet. Go figure. Let's get this spreadsheet on the road. Let's see what's going on. Can you believe it? Can you believe this? Mazda has reduced prices for the most part across the lineup. The base select model, and I looked at Destination. Destination is still $1,495 or whatever. It hasn't changed year over year. Mazda has just dropped prices on most of the trims. If you look at Subaru, I mean, almost everyone. Subaru seems to be the worst right now, though, but Subaru freaking jacked prices. Massive. They cut out, Subaru did, and some of the other brands like Toyota did with the Highlander for 2026, is they're just like, hey, no one's buying the base model. We're just going to kill it. And so the barrier of entry was like several thousands more, sometimes $4,000 more versus last year's model. No, Mazda absolutely crushing the pricing here. Something that, like I said, with the Nissan Kicks did really well, and the new Nissan Leaf has really, really, really good pricing too. Check out my review on the Nissan Leaf. Check this out. My goodness. The base trim, goes down $600. Now, the preferred trim, this might be one of their most popular trims. And as a result, they're like, hey, this is where we can make up some money here. $550 increase versus last year. Meridian Edition, this is new. Notice they killed off, here's the thing. And this is not apples to apples here. You know, the Meridian Edition is built off the preferred, as they say here. 3 different paint colors: black, polymetal gray, and zircon sand. And remember, these paint colors are though pretty expensive this year, but it has like blacked out features. Pretty cool. So we get back to the spreadsheet here. Meridian Edition is built off the preferred. It's like a sport version of the preferred. And how much more does it cost than the preferred? About $700 more, something like that. It's probably worth it. It's probably worth it. But what's gone now, and as we look here, I really should be comparing this premium to the premium plus. So the premium plus is gone. So let's kill the premium plus here, and we can see, okay, I'm starting to eat my words a little bit because the premium model to premium model has gone up $700. But the Meridian Edition, I think this is going to sell really well for them. Obviously, it's not as well equipped as the premium, but I mean, it's going to look really, really cool. I wish I had pictures. I guess technically I do have pictures, but it'll just have the turbo. This is a Meridian, for example, the zircon sand. This has a bunch of options on it with all-terrain tires or whatnot. But like, this is the turbo. Previously, it was only available with turbo, this Meridian Edition. Okay, let's get into the hybrids because the hybrid demand is still big here. Well, if you get the maxed out Premium Plus, it has gone down $100. Otherwise, for the hybrids, this is where Mazda's kind of sticking it to you. They're like saying, hey, you want this hybrid? To get into the hybrid, it costs $580 more. And this is Toyota's 4th generation hybrid system. It's not the new 5th generation that the new RAV4 is getting, unless they've mentioned it in the press release, but I highly doubt it. Yeah, no mention of an updated hybrid system. This is still bulletproof, tried and true, around 40 miles per gallon Toyota 2.5-liter hybrid system, but it's not the new one that the Camry and RAV4 have. Well, should I say the redesigned RAV4 coming out this year. So here's what's going to be interesting. You see the CX-50 hybrid, it comes pretty well equipped. And again, the price hikes. What's going to happen when Toyota comes in with the new RAV4? What are the price hikes going to look like there? Is Toyota able to reduce prices on the RAV4 hybrid since it's going full hybrid? Remember, Toyota RAV4 full hybrid. The CX-50 might lose a bit of its edge. Right now, it's a better looking and better handling RAV4 hybrid, okay, with a better interior. But is it really going to stay that way with the new redesigned RAV4 hybrid? It will be fascinating. And these price hikes, I don't think, are going to help it. All right. But if you're interested in the turbo models, this is where Mazda's like, hey, you can't get it on the new CX-5 coming out early 2026. Turbo models are gone. And guess what? We're going to cut you a big break here. This is where Mazda's done some smart things here. They got rid of this premium grade because people are just buying the Meridian or would rather have the Meridian for $500. And if you want the fully loaded, it's still there, but it's gone down $600. The Meridian has gone down $600. And the barrier of entry into the turbo lineup is genius here. $37,900. It's a $3,100 price drop to get yourself into a turbo. Here's the thing. Would I take the turbo over the hybrid? Oh man, depends how much you're driving. If you're driving a lot, then the hybrid's going to make up in fuel economy because the 2.5 turbo is maybe 25 miles per gallon. It's not very good, all right, in fuel economy, but man, it does perform well. So like here we go, the hybrid premium versus the turbo. Yeah, I'd probably take the turbo, but it's good to have options. And I think Mazda's done overall a pretty good job here. Their most popular trims, it seems that they have increased the prices. All right. But if you stay out of these most popular trims, you could get actually a pretty darn good deal compared to last year. So bravo to Mazda with being very strategic with the pricing, lowering the barrier of entry, not only on the very bottom end, but also on the top end for the turbo models. Hybrids, though, you're going to have to pay that hybrid premium with the premium and the premium plus. Actually, the premium plus actually went down to $100. So that's a win there if you want a fully loaded hybrid. Again, it's kind of fully loaded unless Mazda improved the premium plus, because all right, they finally did. Features heated rear seats, heated steering wheel, signature LED headlights, adaptive front lighting. It's still, even though it has a head-up display, I still don't think it has the steering assist or something like that. It's missing something versus a normal one. Yeah, but it doesn't have something. It doesn't have like the 360 camera. It doesn't have emergency lane keeping, for example, the traffic jam assist. It doesn't have the front cross traffic alert. So the hybrids are decontented even if you get the premium plus, which is pretty frustrating. So yeah, I mean, maybe if you want all those features, just get the turbo model, because they don't have the premium plus on the naturally aspirated engine anymore. We're going to finish this up by looking at new Mazda CX-50s in our area and CX-50 hybrids. Let's see what kind of deals to be had. You're seeing $2,000 price drops on the Meridian turbos, 42,461. If we go back, what was that going for? So that's been optioned out with accessories, because maybe $4,000 in accessories or $3,000 in accessories, because last year cost $41K. All right, so that's crazy. Anyways, we're seeing price drops on the premium plus here. Let's go to lowest price. Remember, it's $29,900 right now. For the lowest entry, and look, there are price drops to be had. $28,000, well, a $3,000 price drop here. So Mazda, they know that the dealers are having to reduce prices on their cars because the market's starting to cool off a little bit. It's actually getting healthier, to be honest. The car market, you can actually have deals now when in the past 5 years or so, it's been impossible to get below MSRP in many cases. So yeah, $4,000, almost $3,500 price drop here. So deals are out there now on the CX-50, and Mazda knows that, hey, the dealers are having to discount these cars a lot. So what can you do with Mazda manufacturer on your end? They're like, okay, well, we'll reduce prices to help you guys out, so the wholesale price to the dealers isn't as expensive. All right, so that the dealers don't have to cut the prices as much versus original MSRP. So it's smart. Mazda's gonna, they're strategizing quite well here. And we'll see what happens. We'll see how successful Mazda is with these prices. I think here's the thing. Remember, Mazda stopped shipments to Canada for the CX-50 because Mazda needs to sell as many American-made cars as possible to reduce the tariff burden that they have now. All right. So look at the volume we have. Let's look at there's about half as many hybrids as there are non-hybrids. Let's check to see what this is at. $2,000 price drop, $2,000 price drop, 31,000. This is actually a really good buy here. $4,000 price drop. Not bad whatsoever on the CX-50 hybrid. So even though Mazda is saying, hey, MSRP is well, we've lowered it, and which is good. It's good, especially for the dealers don't cut the prices as much. The reality is people aren't already paying these prices over here. So even though the prices for the hybrids have gone up, people aren't paying that for the hybrids. Seemingly, you shouldn't be, because what I'm seeing in my area is $3,000 off of MSRP on hybrids. And so, yeah, deals can be had on Mazda CX-50s, the CX-90 that I just drove and reviewed this week. Price drops are happening on that. So Mazda, one of the most desirable car brands, in my opinion. They're fun to drive. And the CX-50 hybrid has the bulletproof and fuel-efficient RAV4 hybrid system with excellent fuel economy. I got about 36 miles per gallon on it. Pretty good, pretty solid. So thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for more Mazda updates, and especially that CX-90 review. In the meantime, before I get that up, check out my MX-5 review where I compared it against the Mini Cooper convertible. That was one of the most fun comparison reviews I've done in a long time. So check that out around my face, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a great day. Peace.